In this video, I'll tell you how you're going to build upon Assignment 1 in working towards Assignment 2, in which you will synthesize information from your article summaries and write a single section of your ROL. When I say ROL, that stands for Review of Literature, which is Assignment 3, which is what we're building toward with these assignments. So this slide just shows an overview of the 3 assignments. Feel free to pause the video and read the bulleted text if you want to review what the assignments are about. And specifically, we're talking in this video about Assignment 2. The purpose of Assignment 2 is to take the sources that you found for Assignment 1 and organize them into sections. So you'll develop an outline of those sections. You may use not only the sources that you collected for Assignment 1, but also additional sources that you found since then. And you're basically going to choose at least 6 sources. It can be some of the article summaries that you did for Assignment 1, as well as additional. You're going to summarize them, you're going to synthesize them into one written section that will make up your ROL. This assignment will include an introduction paragraph at the beginning, a conclusion paragraph at the end, and in between, you're basically transitioning from discussing one study to the next, but not only doing that just sort of one at a time, but also showing how the results fit together. So how do these collection of studies agree and show some of the same findings, and how certain studies show contradictory findings or different findings and things like that. So basically, not just kind of listing them one by one, but also transitioning and showing how they all fit together to inform your topic. The final product will be an approximately 4 to 6 page section, and of course APA style will apply. So for Assignment 2, you will be able to include the articles that you summarized for Assignment 1. You can also choose to summarize all 6 new articles that you hadn't summarized for Assignment 1, if that's what you would like to do. You'll need to keep gathering more articles as you move towards Assignment 3. And I also just wanted to point out that if you've refined your topic a little bit more, if you found that certain articles that you listed in your bibliography for Assignment 1 are no longer as relevant to your topic as you initially thought, then you'll need to spend additional time locating more sources that are more relevant, closely relevant to your topic for this assignment. So what is a section? Sections are subtopics that will eventually lead to the overall argument for doing your research project. So the whole point of this exercise is to figure out what is already known on your topic, what still needs to be answered about your topic in order to decide what you would actually like to do for your original research. So as I said before, you're going to work on one section. So here's an example. Let's say my topic is all about competitive anxiety in basketball. So my 3 sections might be Section 1, Theories of Anxiety in Sport, Section 2, Anxiety and Performance in Sport, and Section 3, Effects of Competitive Anxiety on Basketball Performance. And what you'll notice about how these are ordered is they're from most general to most specific, and that's usually a way that students will choose to organize their information. So I'm starting with the theoretical basis of anxiety in sport generally, then I'm looking at research articles specifically linking anxiety and performance in sport, and then for my 3rd section I'm getting even more specific, just looking at the sport of basketball in particular. So as you can see in this slide, you have a number of different options for the type of content sections that you could include in your review of literature. Feel free to pause the video at any point on this slide so you can read some of the examples, but just to go through the different types. So you may or may not want to have a historical section. Probably most of you will not, but there may be a good reason why you'd want to cover the the history of how your topic has developed over time. If you're doing something on kind of a technical topic like knee injuries, you may need to give the reader some background information about knee anatomy just so that they can understand what they're going to be reading about later in your review of literature or in your other parts of your paper. You may have a theoretical section, for example, self-determination theory, or lots of other theories that you could use to inform your study. An empirical section is one that basically just reviews original research articles about a specific topic, and those could include allied literature or critical literature, and I'll talk about those on the next slide. So allied research literature are studies that are from a different but related topic area, possibly from other disciplines. So for example, if you want to research something in a sports setting, but there hasn't been a lot of research conducted in sports to this point, so maybe there's only one or not even one article about your actual specific topic, then you may need to go to allied research literature. For example, you may need to see how your topic applies in the business world or in academia or just other high performance settings or something like that. Critical research literature consists of studies that are fairly close to what you're doing, and these studies should provide theoretical and conceptual framework for your study. So these are critical literature is, again, things that are really relevant to your topic. Here's some more examples of different section headings. So if my topic is all about the use of technology in Division 3 recruiting, I might start out with a general section about recruiting in collegiate athletics, then have a section on technology that connects athletes and coaches, and then my third section is basically putting together the ideas in sections 1 and 2 into a more specific section, the effectiveness of technology and recruiting in athletics. Some more examples. If my topic were using headbands to reduce concussions in women's soccer, I would probably need to give some background about concussions in sport generally. Then in section 2, what are the effects of concussion to soccer players? So getting a little bit more specific. And then in section 3, even more specific to my idea for my research study, which is about headbands. So my third section is the efficacy of headbands in soccer. Now just some general suggestions for organizing your writing. So you'll almost always use the format introduce, then develop, then conclude by summarizing. So you're going to start with a paragraph in which you'll introduce the topic of the section itself in your own words in clear, simple language. Basically orient the reader to what you're going to be talking about in the section. Then identify 3 or 4 key studies that are important to the topic, put them in order of importance, so basically summarize them in that order in your paper, including some of the details that are relevant from your article summaries, like what you did in assignment 1, kind of drawing from the various headings like purpose, participants, etc. And then compare those articles with the remaining sources that are maybe not as crucial to the topic, but basically kind of working in as much as you can information from other articles that either have similar findings or different findings, and giving a little bit of comparing and contrasting as to how they're similar and different. And then finally, you'll have a conclusion paragraph that basically sums everything up. So again, what were the common themes across the studies? What were some of the differences between them? And what are the sort of unanswered questions that a future researcher like yourself should try to address with future research? And that is all for the PowerPoint slides. Now I just wanted to show you the outline that you'll be working with for this assignment. So here is the outline that you can type into. Basically just put in your topic, basically your working title of your paper. And then here you can put whatever your first section title is going to be, section 2 and section 3, kind of working from the examples that I talked about earlier in the video. And then you'll use basically bullets to kind of arrange where different sources are going to go in terms of which section they fall in, and maybe try to put them in a certain order as well. You're basically just following the highlighted instructions here. The introduction and summary of literature are going to be separate sections that will get added in for assignment 3, so you can just leave those blank for assignment 2. Let me just show you now an example, which is also posted. So this goes back to one of the examples from the slideshow, the topic being competitive anxiety in basketball. So here again you see the 3 section headings that I talked about earlier, and in the bulleted area you can kind of see how I've decided what articles that I included in assignment 1, hypothetically 10 of them. You can see I put 5 of them here in my theoretical section. I put 2 of them here in my anxiety and performance in sport section, and I put 3 of them in my section that's specifically about basketball performance in terms of anxiety. So obviously right away you can see that I definitely will need to eventually find more articles for sections 2 and 3, and possibly even for section 1. So what I have highlighted is sort of hypothetically these 3 articles are the ones that I summarized in assignment 1. Maybe you want to make the decision, okay, I'm not going to include any of those. I'm going to write this section, and I'm going to basically need to start right from the beginning and make sure I read and summarize these articles, but knowing that I already have part of the work done for sections 2 and 3 that I'll work on later on down the road. So again, it's up to you if you want to include 1, 2, or all 3 article summaries that you worked on in assignment 1, and that's assuming they all fit together into the same section. That's totally fine, or you can kind of decide how you want to prioritize your work now or later. So that's something we'll talk more about in class. Definitely let me know if you have any questions about this. And that's all for now. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.